right, you lovely, wonderful people. Right, let's talk about something today, right? So earlier on, we had one of our members from the Discord group, basically, one of the YouTube viewers as well, asked me a question regarding the Fed meeting tomorrow, and it's like, are you going to be streaming it tomorrow? And I kind of answered back to him and I said, look, it's not really relevant to us, it's not important for us. And I want to kind of reiterate on why I said it's not important, because there are fundamental facts that you've got to understand, right? So with the Fed, all it's going to do is like pretty much same as like UK with our government, with our treasury, right? When they go out there and they announce the budgeting XYZ whatever, right? Similar kind of stuff, right? So Fed right now is more relevant for the people in US. You've got crazy interest rates over there, 8.5% I believe, and there's a possible chance that it could go higher, right? Also, like the monetary collapse basically. Think about it this way, right? And one of the things that a lot of people kind of do not really take into account, there's one fact that you have to understand. Fed can press a button and print as much as they want. There's no one there to stop them. So only thing they are kind of saying right now is the fact that, oh, look, we're going to put it up, or we're going to put it down, or we're going to bring it to control. That's what they're going to talk about. So that doesn't really matter. I mean, look home, right? So you're from UK, I know this, right? So from UK, what you need to understand is one of the biggest situations we've got. Our interest rates are already high. We're 11.1%. Are we going to go up a few percent? So there's a lot of stuff to actually notice. And what I'm saying is, it's just noise, right? All of this money printing, or Fed talking about this, or this happening, that happening, all of this, like everything you're going to see on the news, it's just noise. Ignore the noise, right? And you'll see that behind the noise, right? And this is a fact, right? So behind all this noise, guess what's really happening? I'll tell you what's really happening. You've got massive institutions who are waiting for this news to come, and they're going to be hedging, betting against it, right? So when it comes, if the interest rate goes up, they're going to be betting that the money's going to drop, right? That's what's happening. So the big boys are already playing the game. You understand? These money makers, these market makers, market takers, whatever you want to call them, right? They're already doing it. So the news that's coming to you is coming at the end, just to drive it down even more. Remember, when the market's bearish, you'll get more bearish news to drive it down even more, because that's what the smart money does, right? And that's what's really happening right now. So for me, it's just another noise. I don't really see this to be any importance to anybody, even in USA, to be honest, right? People who understand, they will know. Now, obviously, if you're holding your assets in, for example, USD or GBP or whatever you want to call it, right? If you're holding it in your native currency, there is a big risk that your money could be inflated even more, so your money's worth less, right? There's a massive chance, right? But news is only there to drive. It's only there to drive it down or up, one or the other, right? Remember this, there's only two outcomes to it, right? You either drive the market up or you drive the market down. It's a very simple principle. I don't really need to go into nitty gritty of how and what and this and that. It's just too much, right? There's no point of it. Just keep it simple. So, when the market's driving, you got to let it drive down even more. So from my point of view, I'm saying this market wants a recession. Right, it needs it, and this is any smart money out there would understand this. When you have a uncontrollable money printing, or whatever you want to call it, right? When we have this uncontrollable money coming in and inflation kicking in, right? We printed all this money, now we need to recover. We're going to tax you, do this, do that, right? These go up, that go up, costs go up, trade go up, whatever. It doesn't make sense. If a man wants to sell his banana for $1, say from Brazil, why can't he just sell it for $1 in America? Because he just wants $1. But no. The trade agreements, this agreement, that agreement, embargo, so much drama. So I'm just cutting the long story short here. I don't want to make this video too long, because it's a boring subject, right? When you start looking at this in a particular way and we start thinking outside the box, it's very boring. I mean, this whole situation that's happening is so funny. So I don't know how many of you read George Orwell, 1984, right? It's a brilliant book. I mean, you got to read it, right? So I've read it a couple of times. Took some notes, and I've also listened to the audio books and everything as well. Brilliant. So yesterday I recommended it based on some of the questions I was being asked at home. I recommended it to my own daughter. I said, look, read that, you'll understand more. It will all make total sense to you. I mean, we were talking today, they were talking about something about Rwanda or something like that, right? And I was like, you know what, even that will make sense to you if you read that book. So I recommend read some of these books and this and that, have a little bit of leisure time, you time, call it me time, whatever, and you'll feel better, because what's happening is the news you're getting now, you're assuming is current. It's not. It's old news. It's all old news. A famous quote, right, from George Orwell, 1984. He who controls the past controls the present. He who controls the present controls the past. All right, so just make sense of that. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Okay, everything you see now is not really now, right? And you're being fed information, so that's what it is. So Federal Reserve announcing XYZ tomorrow or whenever doesn't make any sense to me. Again, just complete noise to me. I'm not bothered. For me, in the crypto industry, doesn't make any sense, because the one thing I can see impacted more than anything else, by the way, so anything Fed gives out now could impact the money. Number one, could impact the money itself, so you could see the money being devalued or valued even more, one or the other. Inflation or deflation, one or the other, by the way. And the other thing that could impact it is housing. Okay, housing could be dramatically affected, and businesses. And the cascading effect to that is businesses get affected, then everything else in between that also gets impacted. For example, employment, XYZ, all of those things get impacted, right? And then you can see this massive cascading effect where other countries could also get affected if they're dealing with dollars and this and that. So that's how it really works. You know, you've got to start at some point. But as I said to you, big boys, they've already hedged it. They've already done the things. They've already got the bet set up, you know. So by the time you get that news, it's already too late. So it's like a pump and dump group, you know, buy the coin and then prepare to sell it, and then, or short it, whatever, and then tell everybody it's about to dump. So the dump group goes in and dumps it, and the person who's at the top always makes more. You know, if you want to pump it, you buy it early, and then you mention that specific coin. You don't mention anything else. You're, right, this is a coin I'm going to be pumping today. Everyone falls for it. People don't realize this. They fall for it, and then the pump goes, and then within seconds they're out. They just made the money, they're out. And then if you didn't, they'll, oh, you didn't get out on time. But trust me, there's no such thing as a collaborative effect. The only effect that you have as a collaboration is the fact that you're all participating in something too late. That's the key. So yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense. You know, with crypto, just observe the market. We've got the charts telling us exactly what's going to happen. We've got the data from previous markets, and I actually kind of tried to mention that as well. Let me mention this actually. So based on previous bear cycles, right, you know, the way we've done certain things was kind of predictable, right? So we kind of measured. We said, okay, we're going to do this many days, then we just adjust that many days, right? It's quite simple. So it was easier for us to do some predictions. Now, one of the things I mentioned on the last video as well, that BTC was you know, was invented around 2008, launched around 2009, January the 3rd, exact date. But the point is it was launched after the financial crash. Okay, after the financial crash. So we didn't have another financial crash or a global recession after that. Does that make sense? We haven't had one, right? So this is going to be the first time that BTC exists while this is also happening. So it's going to be really, really awesome. It's going to be really, really different. You know, someone mentioned something about a 3K BTC, and I said, yeah, there's a 1% chance it could happen, because nothing is 100%. Everything is 99%, right? So there is a 1% chance that it could easily come to 3K, right? Possibly even go to $1. We don't want to disregard that. But as, you know, calm investors, people who are, you know, when we do like risk assessed investment, we